Okay, let me give you a brief background that what all is Selenium about and what all we are going to do it. All right. So, uh, yes, Neha, I'll be telling you about Git. Okay. Look, the thing is, this tool is composed of different components. Okay. One is Selenium WebDriver. Okay, you have got WebDriver. WebDriver is something which is quite dynamic. Okay, it helps you to run on different browsers. Okay, you can run scripts on different browsers in WebDriver, and you can run dynamic scripts. Okay, you can make dynamic scripts. Dynamic scripts means that there are websites which change every day, and you have to automate them. So using WebDriver, it really becomes easy. Okay, and you can actually make a complete end-to-end project using WebDriver. A project which will have reports and all everything. Okay. There is another component which is known as IDE. IDE is actually not that important. Nobody will ask you about IDE in interviews. Okay, it is a record and run tool which only works on Mozilla. Okay, it will give you no reports, nothing. It's only a record and run tool which works on Mozilla. All right. And there is another tool which is known as Grid. Okay, Grid helps you to work parallelly. Okay, if you have to execute your scripts in parallel, that is, you have multiple machines. Okay, when you have multiple machines, you have to suppose distribute the test cases on those machines to save time. Okay, so generally what we do is that we use WebDriver and we build the code in WebDriver and then we execute the code in parallel on Grid. Okay, right. So these are the components of Selenium. Fine. IDE is not a very good tool. It's more or less useless. You should not be learning that. Okay, right. Now, moving ahead, the first thing is that you need to install JDK. You must be having Java, but you install JDK 8. Okay, please install JDK 8. Go to Google and you will see JDK 8 downloads, and over here you will see uh, for your 64-bit machine or 32-bit machine, you can download and install. Next is you can download Eclipse. Just go to Google, type download Eclipse. Many of you must be having this thing Eclipse and all. Eclipse is the editor for Java language. Okay, you can download 64-bit Eclipse from here and you get the zip file. You open the zip file. You'll get Eclipse icon eclipse.exe in it. You start up Eclipse and you will get a window like this. This window is your workspace window. Okay, workspace means the path where you will be storing all the code, whatever code which we are making, and whatever code which you are making in this training, you will be storing at this location. Okay, so you launch Eclipse. Okay, all right. So fine. Okay, this is Eclipse panel. This is your project explorer where you will be keeping all the projects. In the central section, you will be keeping your code and all. Right. So I'll make a new project over here. I'll go to File, New, go to Other. Under Java, you will see a lot of options. Okay. You can select Java project and I'll call that project as, say, Java and WebDriver. So in this, we will keep Java and WebDriver. So when you finish it, you will be seeing, hold on. Yeah, when you finish it, you will be seeing a project like this, in which you have a source folder, and this is the project. Okay, right. Now, this is GRE system library. This is nothing but Java which is installed in your machine, right? And below that, you will see a source folder. Inside the source folder, we'll keep all the Java files. If you right click on this project, look, many of you must be knowing these things. I'm just starting from basics because there are people in this training who are not aware of few things. Okay, if you right click on this, you will see a lot of options. We will use these options as we proceed with the training. Okay, one of the options is say properties. Okay, in properties, you will be able to see the path where the project is lying. And if you click on this icon showing folder, that particular path will open. See on hard drive under this location, your project is lying and there are lots of folders and files inside it, out of which only source folder is visible inside Eclipse. Okay, right, the source folder is the most important. Under the source folder, I'll make a new package. Okay, and I'll call that package as say day one. Package means a folder inside the source folder. Okay, and under day one package, I'll create a new class known as basics. You select this checkbox public static void main. Right. So in your hard drive as well, if you look at the location, under the source folder, you will see day one folder and under that basics. Right. Now I'm assuming you know the basics, right? If I have to print something in Java, the command is system.out.println. Okay, you just hit SYSO and type SYSO and hit the control space bar. You will get this option system.out.println. Okay, right. Again, I repeat, you just have to type SYSO and control space bar of the keyboard. It will print system.out.println. Right. So whatever you want to type, you can type over here. And when you run this from this run icon on the top left, right, you see that it prints hello. Fine, basics. Now I'm assuming you know what an integer is. If I write int I equals to 100, what a string is, okay, right. Boolean can evaluate to true or false. Okay, you know what I'm assuming you know what a for loop is, what if statements are, okay, what a while loop is. Fine, if you don't know these, then you can watch these videos first. As I told earlier, it will give you a lot of idea. Fine. Okay. Now, moving ahead. Okay. Moving ahead. Um, if I go to this location of the project, you will see a bin directory. Inside this bin directory, under day one project, you will see basics.class file. Now, every Java file is converted to a class file. Okay, if I create another one over here, another class, call it, say, a print name. Okay, there is a question being asked. There is a question being asked that what option we need to select while installing Eclipse IDE for. You can simply use Eclipse IDE for Java EE developers. When you go to the Eclipse website, okay, where you have to download Eclipse, okay, right. Just select the first link, it will give you the best one. Okay, Eclipse Foundation, go to this link and you can simply download Eclipse from here. Okay, right. And after this, you just you can it will start up. It will launch Eclipse then when you run the exe term. I think you got the wrong one. Okay. Okay, do one thing. Do one thing. Don't go for the exe package. Go for this one, Eclipse IDE for uh, Java EE. Right. Go for this one. And you can download for 64-bit. You will just get a bundle, a zip file, you extract it and start working with Eclipse. Okay. In this case, you will not get the exe. Okay, you'll just get a zip file, you extract it, right, like over here, you get a folder like this, Eclipse. You open it and you can simply start this exe and Eclipse will launch. Okay, right. Now, as I was telling you, every Java file is converted to a class file. Okay, and you can see that you can print over here. When I run this file, it prints hello there. You can run this from this run icon, or you can right click on the Java file and you can select run as Java application. Okay. Now, if you go to the project, okay, under the bin directory, under day one, you will see two class files. Every Java file is converted to a class file. Okay. What is this class file? This class file is like an exe file. Okay. Right. I'll tell you. Sometimes we have a project. Okay. In this project, we have got multiple Java files. Okay. And class file is like an executable file. It's an exe file. Every Java file will be converted to a class file. All right. And sometimes the client wants the class files. So you cannot just give the client the jar files, the class files one by one. Okay, because when we work in a project, the class files are huge. Okay, we make a lot of Java files, right? So we put all these files into a single file. This single file is known as a jar file. And we give this jar file to the client. And client can use the features of the classes present in this jar file. I'll tell you. Hold on. There is a question being asked that, first of all, I missed that question. Hold on. Okay, I answered that. It's okay. Uh, So she asked a question that IDE has gone and came developer version and in your videos IDE is. I'll have to check that out, Shri, but yes, WebDriver is still the main thing which is being used. Okay, right, because we never used IDE. I've been working on Selenium since more than 10 years now. We never used IDE. Okay, now I was telling you about jar files. Okay, a single jar file is collection of many class files. For example, this JRE system library. This JRE system library is nothing but Java which is installed on your machine. Okay, if you expand this, you will see lot of jar files. All these jar files contains lot of classes. For example, if I expand this jar file, then you will see so many classes present inside the packages. So you can use these classes. Alright, these jar files, they give you set of predefined functionalities. For example, if I write over here system.out.println uh, new date. Okay, what is new over here? What is this import? Forget about it. Right now, just understand one thing, that this date is an internal system class. It is present in one of the jars. Okay, and I can use it. If I run this program, then you will see that it prints the current system date and time zone, everything at the bottom. So I never had to write the logic. All right. So out here, I just used one class which was internally built somewhere in this jar file. Okay, if I click on control button of the keyboard, move the mouse over date, you hit the control button of the keyboard, move the mouse over date, it will look like a link. If you click on it, it will try to open the date class. In my computer, it will open. It is internal to the system. In your, it won't open because I have done few settings. Right. If you click on this arrow, this linkage arrow, see this is the date class. It will highlight date.class. This is linked with editor arrow. Whatever Java file you open over here will be highlighted in the editor on the left side. Okay. So date.class file is internal to the jar file which you are just using. And in Selenium also same thing happens. Don't think that in Selenium you have to, invent something or everything is inbuilt. Like we have this date command inbuilt. In Selenium also almost all the commands and everything is inbuilt. All right, fine. So you don't have to worry about anything. Okay, 1 minute. This WebEx is hanging. Guys, please turn off your videos. There is no need of cameras. Many of you have turned on the cameras. In case you want to maximize the WebEx screen so that the clarity is there, just double click on your screen. It will get maximized. Okay, right. Now, moving ahead, I'll show you how to download the Selenium jars because you have just the Java jars. These are the default Java jars. Okay, you can download the Selenium jars as well to make the project Selenium enabled. Okay, you can go to the official website of Selenium, which is seleniumhq.org. Okay, on this website, there is a download section. Fine, go here and you download this from this package. Okay, this is the download link which will help you download the jars. This is the important link known as changelog. If you open this link, changelog, then it will tell you how Selenium has changed with every version. Okay, it has got the complete history for every release. Okay, if you look at this third link, Java doc, this is the official documentation of Selenium. Okay, you cannot learn this. To learn this or to understand this documentation, you need to understand the concept of OOPS, which is object-oriented programming. Okay, and that's what my main focus is. We have to start with object-oriented programming. Only then you can understand Selenium. Okay, right. So today is the first class. I just don't want to jump over to things. Okay, I'm just going step by step. I hope you understand. Right. Now, moreover, if you go to the first link, the home page of Selenium website, the first line which is written is Selenium automates browsers. Okay, Selenium is a tool which is only meant for browsers. It is not for desktop applications or something. Okay, so I think the jars have downloaded. You can open the folder. There is a new version now. And hold on. You just keep it in your machine. There is a new version which has come up. And you extract it. Okay, this is the latest version, and you see this is the one of the jar files client combined. This is the main jar file of Selenium. So Selenium guys also give jars. Each of these jars they have a lot of functionality. You don't need this jar. This jar is sources.jar. Sources means that the source code of Selenium is in this jar. You don't need that actually. It's an open source, they distribute the source code. This is the main jar file. Okay. And under the libs, you will find many other jar files which are required to work with Selenium. Okay. So you need to include these jars inside Eclipse to make your project Selenium enabled. Okay. So all you need to do is that you need to right click on the project, go to the properties, fine, and you will see Java build path option. Okay, and you can include the jars from here. There are four tabs over here. Go to the libraries tab, click on add external jars button. Right, I'll be giving you these recordings, so you don't have to worry. Okay, and you go to the Selenium section, include the main jar file, client combined jar, and also include the jar files under libs. Okay, all of them. Don't forget the jars under libs. People at times forget them and then they later on fall into trouble. Fine. So right, these are the jars. Now you can start using internal features of Selenium. For example, if I just write over here, new Chrome driver. Okay, and Chrome driver is one of the internal classes inside these jars. And when you run this program, you will see that a blank Chrome browser will open up. Okay, so I didn't have to do much. Tarun, I'm answering your question. Just hold on. Okay, it's all everything is inbuilt. You need to understand the inbuilt commands. You need to understand in your PC this command will not work. Okay, I'm just telling you because you have to set the driver exe. Right, in your PC it won't work. But I'm just telling you that everything is inbuilt. You have to learn the inbuilt commands. Okay, I'll answer that then. When you go to the official website of Selenium and you go to the download section, you see this Selenium standalone server jar. And you have also, I have asked you to download from this location. There's a question being asked that what is the difference between this download link and this download link? Look, this download link standalone server has the capability of remote Selenium WebDriver, which means Selenium Grid. If you want to work with Selenium Grid as well, okay, you can download this. But if you just want to work with Selenium normal without Grid, you can download this. Okay, right? So we'll use this when we are working with Grid. All right, it's basically for Grid. Right now, um, out here, I told you how to download the jars, configure the jars and all. Now, one important thing which I want to cover on day one is the concept of debugging. Okay, because this is something which will always help you as a beginner, especially in Java, and it will always help you to make some good scripts. Fine. Look, guys, when you are building scripts, when you're making code and writing some long programs, you certainly will get errors. Okay. And when you get errors, you need to solve them. And you don't know at times what is happening. So you can run your programs line by line. Right. I'll tell you how. For example, if I write over here int I equals to 0, and then I write I equals to I plus 100, then I write int j equals to 20. Fine. And I write j equals to j multiplied by I, and I print the value of j. I can run this program line by line to check the status that how it is exactly running. Then that is known as debugging. To debug a program, you need to put a breakpoint. Okay, I'll put a breakpoint in front of this line. I'll double click in front of this line and I'll get this small blue icon. Okay, this is known as a breakpoint. You see this small debug icon, a bug icon. Instead of running the program from here, run the program from here. And when you run it, you'll get this kind of a window. Confirm the perspective switch. You click on yes, and you will see the screen will change. It will switch to debug perspective in Eclipse. In debug perspective, we can run the program line by line. The most important thing is you can close this outline. Okay. Most important thing is this variable tab. It will tell you the status of every variable in the program. Okay, I'll tell you, hold on. You hit F6, F6 of the keyboard, and it will execute this line. Hello there will be printed. So by hitting F6, you can run the program line by line. You see that I'll hit F6 again, it will run this line and print date. F6 again, I will be initialized to 0. And at real time, you will be able to see the value of I as 0 over here. And this is really a very interesting thing. Fine. And then you hit F6 again, the value of I will be 100 now. You can also move your mouse over this variable and you will be able to see the value. Okay, now you hit F6, J will come up, J is 20 and J is J multiplied by I on the next line and J becomes 2000, right? And you have F6 again and it's over, right? So you click on this debug icon and the control comes on this line and you can keep on hitting F6 to run line by line. If I hit F8, F8 will run this program normally. Okay, so F6 is for line by line execution and F8, this is generally in Java, it will be really helpful when you are stuck in your scripts. Okay, run normally. So you first put a breakpoint in the code and then run it. I'll put another breakpoint. See, I'll double click on this line and another breakpoint will come up. Fine. And you run it in the debug mode. This is the debug perspective. You click on this icon. The code will stop on this line and you hit F6 again. It will run normally. If you hit F8, it will run normally and stop on the next breakpoint. Okay, this was F8. Right. So it's completely up to you that how many breakpoints you want to put up and all, right? You want to hit F6 or F8, fine. Now suppose I have a function like you can move to the normal view. Okay, you click on this icon, open perspective inside Eclipse. You see this icon? You click on that and select the Java perspective. When you select Java perspective, you will move back to the original file which you had made in the original view. Now suppose I make a function known as public void add in which I will send j and I will add j by 100 and I'll print j. Okay, and I will call this add function. What is this static? What is this public? You will come to know by tomorrow because until or unless I don't teach you object-oriented programming, you cannot understand these things. Right, I'll teach you. Fine. So I call the add function and I send, say, j inside it. If I double click on the breakpoint, again it gets disappeared. All right. So if I debug this, if I run it in the debug mode, open the perspective again, you see the control stops on this line. If I keep on hitting F6 of the keyboard, it will run. Now on this add function, if I hit F6, it will execute the add function. See, it's incremented the value of j by 100 and printed. But what if I want to go inside this function while debugging? I want to go inside this function. To do that, I'll tell you, you run it in debug mode again. You keep on hitting F6. And if you want to go inside this function, if I hit F6, it will execute this function. If I hit F5, it will go inside this function wherein you can run the code line by line and then come back when it's over. Okay, so F5 will go inside a function. If you have any questions, you can let me know. Right. So this is debugging. Okay. I'll stop here for today. Okay, we have done enough. Right, we have done enough. Yeah, Neha, training is same going on. Okay, we were into this thing, right? Look, there is actually